We are the first company mapping over 1 million square meters that are all the raw metro stations. So in Italy we have a lot of museums, and all museums are public. So the idea was back in 2012 how we can, let grow the culture heritage of our place. We invented a technology that was capable to filter out the noise coming from beacons.
Fiat.
Okay. There are a lot of robots working, so iron everywhere. Yeah. That means things very difficult for our filtering engine.
Yeah.
And
hello and welcome to episode 6 of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Beco System. My name's Steve Statler of Statler Consulting, and we're doing this in partnership with our friends at Proxbook. And this week it's off to southern Italy, talking to the founders of Nextome, Domenico Colucci and Vincenzo Dentamaro, who's the CEO. And they're going to be talking about all sorts of deployments they've been doing at Fiat, at the Rome subway, at museums. And we're going to get some really interesting insights into their technology, into their business. They'll talk pricing and some of their future plans. They're going to be going for a round of funding soon. So have a listen in. Hope you enjoyed as much as I did.
So, well, maybe we should start off with some introductions, and you guys can tell me who you are and what you do.
Sure. So first, I can start with me. I'm a software engineer. Also, I founded with Domenico Colucci and an angel investor called Marco Bicocchi, the startup that back in 2013. But our research on indoor positioning started in 2012. I'm an IBM and Johnson Controls farmer. And now, since 3 years now, we started to work on that company because we think that the indoor positioning will be, I don't know if the next big thing, but I think that it will be something like that.
All right.
Like search engines back in 1997. Now the indoor positioning will be the same because we have a lot of buildings, and when you get indoor, you are blind completely because there isn't anything that works indoors. Yeah. So we have invented this technology to solve this kind of problem. That's my background. Now I can think that Domenico can present.
Yes, my background is graduated in computer science.
And just to kind of basics, so your name's Domenico, and is it Colucci? Have I pronounced that?
Yes. My surname is Colucci, Domenico Colucci.
Yeah.
My background is computer science, graduated in computer science of University of Bari, and with Vincenzo, my colleague, started next to me my first company in my life.
You guys are based in Italy. I think I was looking at Proxbook, and there's we've got a dozen companies in the Beco system who are working in Italy. I live in America, I grew up in England, and so our view of Italy is very narrow. We kind of think of Rome and Venice and maybe Milan, and that's about it. But you don't live in any of those places. Where do you live and work?
We are in the south, in the southeast. The Apulia.
All right.
So near Bari. Bari is a city on the sea that is in front of Greece. Uh-huh. So we can get on Greece, on other kind of places.
Just above the heel in the boot.
Yeah.
Very good. And so are there many technology companies in your city?
No, not so much. We are in the south of Italy, and south of Italy has to grow in this sense about startups ecosystem and so on. Italy is in early startup ecosystem. It's not the valley, let's say, Silicon Valley. We were in Silicon Valley, but Italy is early, but we also have a lot of talented people here to bring on board.
Very cool.
And without paying so much.
And just to kind of orientate everybody, you do indoor mapping. Is that kind of correct?
Well, we do indoor positioning and navigation.
Okay.
So it means that we can find the user's position indoors with 1.5 meter of accuracy.
Okay.
That's it.
Very accurate.
Yeah. And now, if you want, I can explain you why and what are challenges. Well, we start with in Italy we have a lot of museums, and all museums are public. Yeah. So the idea was back in 2012 how we can, let grow the culture heritage of our place, and we invented with an app that was capable to know users' position indoors and show advanced content based on the position. So let's say if you are in front of Mona Lisa and you want to get the description or a video introduction of that, you don't have to, it was very easy. Just get very close to the Mona Lisa and you get the video. That seems to be proximity, but it wasn't. Because if you put beacons very close one to each other, what happens is that the noise coming from beacon, probably you will get opening a video or a content of another piece of artwork, because they are very noisy. And we started working on that. We called in our patent that now is a PCT. I mean, it's an international patent, also in the United States, in Europe, Singapore. We invented a technology that was capable to filter out the noise coming from beacons. We called beacons before Apple. Those BLE sensors. And basing on that filtered signal, we can get an accurate position of the user.
And you guys have videos on the web, and I've looked at them, and it really does seem like you achieve very good fidelity. How many beacons do I need to use to get that kind of accuracy, that 1.5 meters accuracy?
It's clear that the accuracy depends on the number of beacons, but we have estimated that to achieve 1.5 meter of accuracy, it's necessary about 1 beacons every 35 square meters. But if you want normal accuracy that is below the 3 meters, also 1 beacon every 50 square meters, it's okay.
Okay. And so do you have many customers?
We do have big customers here in Italy initially, and also one in San Francisco. We are the first company mapping over 1 million square meters that are all the row metro stations. So in subway, in metro station, we have mapped all for security reasons.
So for security reasons, they want to map, and can you explain a little bit more about that?
It's a private police that has commissioned to map everything, and they have police running, inside the metro station, and they want to track that. If there is something wrong that happens, they can ask for help and synchronize them. That's their business, and what they asked us was to track the in that case, it's something like the employees, but our police.
Okay, so you're tracking the employees and the police within the subway system. It's not tracking passengers.
Yeah, no, it's not tracking passengers.
Oh, okay, fantastic.
The passengers will not have the app that enables the tracking.
Okay, and so who is the customer in that case? It's the metro system that are paying for it?
Yeah, it's the public government that controls the metro stations.
All right.
That has commissioned the main contractor, and the main contractor uses our technology to do all the stuff.
Very cool. And so, yeah, let's talk about what the boundaries are of what you do, because there's potentially a lot of software involved here. Can you kind of draw the box around the piece of technology that you provide? Is it just a set of APIs, or do you have GUI, or what?
It's an SDK that can be integrated in apps. The SDK has the capability to localize the user indoors and also offline. It means that everything runs on the smartphone, So there is no polling, continuous polling on a server. The computation does not happen on a server. It happens on the smartphone.
Okay, excellent.
And it's because when you go subway, you can also, in Italy, we don't have internet connection, very strong subway. So we must ensure that everything works, also when an internet connection is not there. And
you're
yes.
using static iBeacon UUIDs, are you? This is basically, you're not doing any encryption or anything like that.
Correct. They are static iBeacons UID that are not connectable, so they are there and stuff. And we, basing on the signal coming from that beacons, we clean those kind of signal and localize the user. Also, there are other things. Nextome is also a sensor fusion technology. Uses we have a technology also called IntelliWalk that recognize and trains on user steps. So when the user is walking, if you walk with our technology, after 15 minutes, the technology has learned your motion model, and it's very personal. If you get your smartphone to another one, will need 15 minutes, about 15 minutes to learn his motion model, and that will get you also, you can, disable the Bluetooth scanning and walk, and it will take you all the steps and get you right on your direction, on your position, because it's a very precise it's called dead reckoning, and it's very precise dead reckoning because it's learning your motion model.
So you're looking at the compass and the accelerometer, and you're using that to kind of figure out someone's motion, and then you use the beacons to kind of do course corrections and figure out where somebody is?
Both the information are merged together with map constraints, particle filters, and so on, and you get a very accurate location. And also, if you are when you walk, it prevents you from localize on walls and inaccessible areas.
Okay. So what's the process of getting all of this working? Is there some kind of site survey that I need to do with an app to calibrate this?
The main thing is that when we started our company, we were using fingerprinting.
Yes.
And first fingerprinting and then SLAM technology, simultaneous location and mapping. What it happens is that our customers were not able to fingerprint and even to SLAM, because also with SLAM you have to walk with a normal acceleration. If you stop, you have to restart walking. You don't have to turn very quick, otherwise the accelerometers will give bad results. And that's very difficult to explain to customers. They are system integrators. They are not data scientists. They are not, and when they do that, also there are people who will do the mapping, is even not a software engineer, is a worker. Mm-hmm. So they don't have those kind of skills.
Right.
The right skill they have is to mount a piece of hardware on the wall.
Yes.
That's all they know.
Okay.
In that way, our research was on doing filtering, so all unsupervised learning on the signals coming from beacons. So we put the complexity upstream rather than downstream.
Yes.
And what it happens is that they only have to attach the beacons on the walls at our suggested position.
Okay.
And the localization works.
So you basically, presumably, like let's talk about the subway installation specifically. So you had, how many beacons are there in that subway?
How many beacons?
Yeah.
Well, I don't remember very well the number. However, with we have covered, for instance, in also another customer that is Fiat Chrysler Automobiles, 12,000 square meters with 100 beacons. 12,000
square meters, 100 beacons, and what environment was that? Who was the customer?
It was very noisy. The customer is Fiat Chrysler Automobiles. They make cars.
Fiat.
The plant,
Okay.
Yeah, there are a lot of robots working, so iron everywhere.
Yeah.
That makes things very difficult for our filtering engine.
Yeah.
And it was working, really.
All right. So we've got two threads going here, but they're both interesting. So let's finish off the Fiat one. So what are Fiat using these beacons for?
Oh, they use our technology to track the maintainer, because what it happens, sometimes robots stop walking. So they have only, I don't remember, 4 or 5 maintainers for all the wool plant. 5 maintainers for all the wool plant. And the maintainers to reach the robots that are stopped working took over 6 minutes to do that. 6 minutes in average. With our technology, they save about 3 minutes, because the technology calls the maintainer that is more close to the robot that has stopped working. And they save 500 euros per minute, so 1,500 euros every time the robot stopped working.
That's a fantastic ROI metric. Well done. Those are very rare, so I'm impressed. So basically, you've got these guys and girls who are fixing the robots when they break down, and you're basically getting the right person who's closest to the robot that's broken down, and they're basically getting there faster, and so the factory stays running, and Fiat save a bunch of money.
Correct.
Fantastic use case. So let's go back to let's go down underground the Rome subway. What was the process for deploying those beacons? So you were working with a systems integrator, were you? How did you kind of get a bunch of maps of the subway, and then kind of how did you figure out where the beacons were going to go, and how did you get the beacons deployed?
And that's another interesting thing. It was not very easy to do all the work to the system integrator, because they have to learn about RF, radio frequency propagations indoors. That's quite just a bit of, a lot of work, a lot of things to learn about physics. We decided to start developing an algorithm that synthesizes all the knowledge about the RF propagation, and with map constraints to suggest where to put the beacons. That's not very, very accurate. Mm-hmm. So maybe a human being that has all the skills will do. Sometimes doesn't happen frequently, but can suggest better position. But normally the software can suggest good positions to people that don't have those kind of skills.
So part of what you have is software. Presumably this is kind of some kind of web package, and you give some inputs in terms of what the location is like, and it will suggest where to put the beacons. Is that how it works?
The user has uploaded the map, and the system automatically recognizes the walls. And you can also suggest where are other walls. And with those information and knowing how many, one beacon if you want to put one beacon every 45 square meters, so you have to put 45 as parameters, and we'll understand to put one beacon every 45 square meters.
Okay.
With this information, the software provides the number of beacons, but with the number of beacons, it starts putting the beacons in the right position. And so finally, this is an AI algorithm, it's an optimization algorithm that as a result will give you the map with the position of the beacons that the maintainer, in that case the system integrator, prints and give to the worker.
Very good.
To who install.
And then how do you make sure the beacons are in the right place?
That requires actually a human being that has to see, oh, that's okay, that's not okay.
Okay, so there's a supervisor that goes back, and then that's it. There's no fingerprinting, and there's no kind of walkthrough. You just work with that, and then presumably
is to give very easy the first real plug and play technology for indoor positioning. That is.
Very cool.
Thank you.
So you provide the APIs, and so far you've got a deployment in Fiat, you've got the deployment in the subway. It sounds like you've got a lot of deployments in museums. Any museums that we would have heard of, or you want to?
Oh yes, in United States, you said you are. Where in United States?
I'm in San Diego, so I'm just
California.
30
If
miles
you go
from
in
the
San Francisco, if you go in San Francisco, we have the Art Exchange Gallery of San Francisco that has our system.
The Art Exchange in San Francisco.
In
Okay.
the center of San Francisco.
Okay, well that's 500 miles north, but I actually do plan to go up there fairly soon, so I will check it out. So they have an app that guides people around, and yeah,
It's on Play Store.
very cool. And any other customer examples that you'd like to
Yeah,
talk
exhibitions. We did in 2014 in Italy. That is a big exhibition of wine in Italy, and we mapped. This exhibition was very huge. I don't remember how many beacons we used. I think one pavilion that was 8,000 square meters. We used 120 beacons. 120 beacons. About. I don't remember the number correctly, but that was the number. And a lot of users were using the app. We released the app only for iOS.
Okay.
And yes.
But what? So there's an exhibition app. Can you explain the functionality that the beacons enable within the exhibition app, apart from just seeing where you are?
Yeah, the beacons are only for us necessary for our technology to know where the position of the user is.
Yeah. Okay. And so is that something that is that purely for the user to figure out how to find something, or is there information that the exhibitors get? Are there any analytics?
There are a lot of so the user could search and reach a specific exhibitor and or showing the route, the path through to reach the exhibitor, and store the information, the phone number, share his position to friends, to social network, also meet with other friends. Imagine a LinkedIn. Okay. You get your connection and you can ask your LinkedIn, one of your LinkedIn connection to reach you in the position you are. Yeah. You can share your position and they can reach you.
That's a great function. Yeah, it's always challenging meeting up with people at these shows. So what is life like living in southern Italy? I kind of envisage a lot of fantastic food and wine and great climate. Is that how do you get any work done? It must be tough.
Oh, no, right now today the weather is not very good, let's say, but often it's good, and we also have good food.
Yeah.
But food is not only the most important thing in the life. Yeah. And for us as software engineers, it's not the Italy right now the right place to live.
Oh, really?
For that, but
Yeah, well, that's interesting. But so there must be some advantages and disadvantages of that. And I grew up in England, and a long time ago, when the internet didn't exist, and so the gap between what was going on in Silicon Valley and what was happening in London was huge. And now it's much smaller. But I think you also must have some benefits being in Italy. It's like I'm sure Italians would rather deal with someone from their own country to deploy technology than go to someone in the States who maybe is hard to get hold of. I mean, do you get any benefits from just the locality between you and your customers? Or
there are two companies providing indoor positioning right now in Italy, and let's say for what we know, the product that is ready is only our product that is ready to go to the market as we do. And for this reason, we do have also customers in Italy. But the company was born with an idea to become global.
Okay.
And for this reason, we plan to open, other the headquarters in California. We were in Santa Cruz and San Francisco, and we will open in one of the two cities. We will decide, and another branch in Asia, where the market is very huge too, and we also have a lot of requests from that side.
And so where are you at the moment in terms of number of people and funding, that sort of thing?
Yeah, the company has completely self-funded from us. We also had a grant from the nation Italy. The grant is not so much, 192,000 euros. And we are right now in fundraising. I mean, searching for what in Silicon Valley you call a seed. In Italy is around because number of different. We are searching for that because of the customers we have. The company is revenue generating, and that is because we have a plan, a very complete plan that has been designed by our angel investor Marco, that is also the president of the Italian startup, the delegation of startups in Italy, the old startups. He's the president, and is also our angel investor. They has designed all the roadmap for the growth, and we are searching also for an international investor that believe in our kind of technology.
And so how do you earn money? What's the pricing approach for your software?
Yeah. The pricing is based on license. So we license the technology on the square meters. From our customers' perspective, it's good because when you go to other competitors, they price their license based on the users.
Yeah.
So you will not know how many visitors your building will have.
Right.
So it's you will not know in advance how much you will pay.
Okay, so right, so you have a certain amount. You offer certainty in terms of your pricing model, and I'm assuming because you mentioned earlier that you don't need to be connected for this technology to work, and so maybe your pricing model is as a result. I mean, if you don't need to be connected, then it's hard to charge by user. But do you not lose something if there's no connection? Then, I mean, part of the reason why people want to do indoor location and navigation is to spy on their customers, to understand their customer better. Is that a disadvantage of your approach?
Well, the approach is not completely offline. The approach. If you work offline, if you want to localize yourself offline using our technology, you can do that. But what it happens is that if the developers that integrate our SDK wants to have more information about the user, he can actually do that.
Yeah.
And there are few parameters in the SDK that allows you to get the position and transmit the position, also the positions that were not that are cached. So I mean, when you use it offline, your positions are cached inside a log, and then this kind of log is sent through the network to internet when is available an internet connection. So you get the same, you know everything about your user. Also, when user was offline, let's say.
Got it.
But it's up to the developers to know, the company that integrates our SDK to do those kind of things, and the visitor that has the app installed must know that you know where he is. So the privacy should be granted.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, very good. So I think you were looking for some metrics, and did you find the metrics from that show or not?
Yes, I have. We have 2,531 downloads in 2 days.
Okay.
The app was in the first page of App Store, and we had a conversion rate So I mean, who downloaded the app and used the app for over I don't remember if 30 minutes or so, over the 32%.
32% of the people that downloaded it used it.
You effectively used it
for a substantial amount of time. That's great. Very good.
Yeah, because usually when you download the app, you see it and then you install or close the app. But in that case, it means that the app was very useful to find its place.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's cool. So next to me, definitely a very interesting technology. Sounds like you've got some great customers. Interesting time in your company's trajectory, raising money and looking to come to the States. Very good. Anything else we should talk about?
About funding, I can say that we decided to don't have early investors very soon because, otherwise the valuation of the companies was very, very low.
Yeah.
And the first valuation is very important. And we decided to have a product with customers, big customers, to get the first valuation.
Great. Well, I wish you luck on that, and it sounds like you've got some good technology and some good customers, and you're working in an interesting area. So hopefully we'll put this out, and if we can be of any help in getting the word out with this video, then I'll be very pleased.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Good to meet you both. Ciao.
Ciao. See you, and thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.